We like to give you like a quick high level demo of kind of the software, the marketing solution. That I think it runs like 10 minutes, 11 minutes. And then after that, I'll come back on and rant for a little bit and then get into the best part of it, which is the Q&A, your questions. And I'll kind of prime you on that as we get through. But first, let's just start at the top with the light, high level demo, and then we can go from there. So take it away, Taylor.
All right, everybody, welcome to today's session. My name's Taylor. I'm on the marketing team at Art Storefronts, one of the people putting together our many resources and consulting and mentoring our members on a regular basis in workshops like these. Today's session is for non-members, so this is a free, wide-open session, and how it's a little bit different than what you get as a member. Our member workshops, which we hold 5 times a week at this point on various topics, are largely tactical, right? So it's giving our members ongoing advice, tweaks to their strategy, checking in with them, seeing how far they've gotten since we last spoke, and making sure their business is always growing. By contrast, today will be largely about what we call unclogging the drain. Before you're even ready for tactical or strategic advice, you need to get the big thing out of the way. And we found through these non-member workshops that most artists and photographers out there have something. They have a big thing in their way. It can be a mindset problem, some kind of self-limiting belief that if you just simply do away with it, the path becomes clear. Or it could be something more practical, like not doing something that you really need to be doing. Whatever it is, we're going to find out about it today and fix it for you. Before we get into all that good stuff, I have 2 segments for you up top here, opening remarks. The first one, stuff you need to know about this workshop, how it works. The second, a little bit of an overview on Art Storefronts, just to get some context, set the stage, who we are and what we do. First up, the need to know information about today's workshop. To get in line to chat with us, right? To get unmuted and start to get some help, you need to use the raise hand button in Zoom. So at the bottom of your Zoom window, you'll see the participants button. You're going to hit that, and that'll open this on the right-hand side, where you'll find the blue raise hand button. You hit that, and that will do it. Raise hand. You'll see up here, your name will show the blue raise hand button. That's the system we use. We go top to bottom, unmuting everyone that has their hand raised and helping them out. So if you have a question up front, you want to talk to us, you can do that right now and get early in line, so you'll be one of the first people to get some help today. If something comes up later and you don't have a question yet, but something comes to mind, you can always do it later in the session too. The second thing you need to know is that we have a page that we call the show notes. And that's where we aggregate all of the links to resources that come up today. So if one of us says we have a really good video about that, or we say we actually have a podcast episode that would help you out, you don't need to be hunting around for that in the moment. We're doing that for you. We're collecting it all. Here's what the page looks like. We're going to send this to you after today's session ends. We're going to email it to you. So you'll find the replay at the top. Right, so if you have to leave early or you arrived late, or even if you missed it altogether, you can always catch up with the replay here. And then this is the show notes section I was talking about. All the links will be there, everything that came up. So you'll have that. Don't worry about looking anything up. In the moment, we're taking care of it. I should also mention on this page while you're here, there are a couple of request a demo buttons. Those are your go-to spots for either signing up if you just want to get going, or reaching out to us, having a more in-depth chat about our features and our pricing and stuff like that. That's how you start those conversations. If you just want to do your research and get to know us, see if there's a good fit, you hit the request a demo button, you fill out the form, and we'll get in touch. That's how you do that. Okay, second segment today, what even is Art Storefronts, okay? So here is the very quick overview. And like I said, the demo is where they go in depth. They'll do an hour for you. They'll answer as many questions as you have. But today, I don't know how many people here already know everything about us, nothing about us. So I'll just go right down the middle and do a very quick overview. There are 2 halves to Art Storefronts. There is the website software, right? So that is the art selling website. And then there's the marketing program, and that is really the fuel for that website engine. The website could be fantastic. We believe it's the best website software for artists ever designed. We really believe that, and I'll show you why in a moment. However, all of the power of that website is meaningless if there's no one on it. So the marketing program is what completes the whole membership. I'll show you both halves now, starting with the website. There are hundreds of features. It is very difficult to give you a full overview of everything that's going on with this software. So I think I will just show you what's really most important, right? The product page. At the end of the day, everything on your website is designed around getting people here to the product page where then they can check out and buy your artwork. So what is the big deal with these product pages? To explain that, let's just clarify that I'm showing you an artwork product page today. That's the important one. We also have what we call standard product pages, and that's where you can sell anything. If you have ceramics, jewelry, clothing, you can sell all of those product types on art storefronts. It does not need to be solely wall art. But I want to show you the wall art product page because there's an important thing to get straight here. These pages are set up specifically to sell wall art. That's in contrast to a website provider like Squarespace that has to have their product pages work for all product types, whether you're selling artwork or toilet paper or electric scooters, right? It works for everything, which creates a master of none situation when it comes to their features. They have not considered artwork in particular, so they have not addressed the problems, the challenges with selling artwork online like we have. The big deal with selling artwork online is that there is a lot of friction. It is not a product like toilet paper or electric scooters where you want what it does and you find the one that you like and you buy it. It's a little more complicated than that. Buying art is an emotional journey. You fall in love with the work, you get to know the artist through their emails and their social media posts, you save up for it, eventually you get the wall space open, but even then you have questions like which piece should I select and how is it going to look with my wall paint color, how's it going to work with the other pieces of artwork in my collection? Will my spouse like it? How do I show it to them in the best way? What are the media types available? I've never heard of this word acrylic. Is that worth looking into? What size is going to work for my space? I don't want it to look too small or of course too big. All of these questions are where you lose sales. People have those questions, your website does not answer them, and they never get it answered, they leave. You cannot rely on people reaching out to you actively to ask these questions, right? Your website needs to passively answer them for you all the time. Whenever that question comes up, whichever one it is, your website comes in and says, oh, here you go, got the help for you right here, problem solved, keep going, keep making the purchase, right? That is what maximizes art sales. Let's start by just looking at the layout of the page. Image on the left, buying options on the right. Not below, not somewhere down the page you need to scroll to find. Everything is visible on one screen and it's all expanded. There's not drop downs. Everything is image based. This is like the express lane to checking out artwork online. Beyond that, you can offer every version of an image side by side. The open edition prints are right here. With one click, you can start shopping the limited edition prints, signed and numbered, highest quality, that sort of thing. With another click, you're over to the original version of that image. If the original is available, you could step up and buy it right here. Finally, the multi-panel. This is where you break up a single image into 3 prints, right? So it's a huge upsell. You turn one print sale into 3, very sleek and modern presentation. I love that one. If you don't offer one of these media types, like you're a photographer, so you don't have originals, you wouldn't have this tab on your website. This is just showing all the possible options, but you'll set it up to whatever you actually offer. So if you don't have limited editions, it's gone. It's not on your actual site. It adapts to what you actually sell. Within these, let's look at the open edition prints. Now, the big challenge there is explaining the media types. The average art consumer does not know terms like canvas gallery wrap, giclée print, metal, acrylic. They don't know what these look like. They don't know what they are. So it becomes difficult to make a smart decision until they do. So the website's job is to educate them very quickly and visually. So here's how we've done that. When you click on one of the media types, the preview over on the left-hand side adapts in a subtle way. So this adds a little bit of virtual depth to this image because we've selected the canvas option. That clues people in, oh, this is that traditional thick gallery look. Beyond that, maybe they don't know what metal is, you can hover on these tooltips here, the little question marks, and then you can launch a video. These are custom videos we've produced just for our members that show every angle of these media types and summarize the benefits. They're about 15 seconds long, and they instantly create that connection of, oh, that is what I want. Very powerful. Beyond those buying tools, you have the visualization tools. This is for questions like, I love the piece, I know I want it on metal, I'm just not sure if it's really gonna look good in my space, or how large I should buy. That's where the visualization tools come in. Wall preview is the starter there. You can select a room type, and you can get going very quickly, a good representation of what size you need, right? So let's step it up. The 30, that looks good. The 32 looks even better, right? You're stepping it in. We've got wall color here. These aren't random. These are the top selling paint colors from last year from Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams. So there's a high likelihood your buyers will actually find their real wall color right in here. Very simple, very fast. So this helps clear up some of those questions, but we take it to the next level with live room preview. You can see the button here, and also on the product page right here, live preview AR. This is an augmented reality tool that allows people to use their mobile or tablet device to visualize the artwork on their actual wall, not a virtual space, not a hypothetical wall, their actual wall space. So you can see in this video here, it projects it onto their wall. They can start to select the sizing and see how everything looks. They can move it around the wall space, and now there is no translation problem, right? It is not close to their wall color or whatever. It is their real actual space. The most powerful part of this feature, because other websites have this type of functionality via an app. Ours works in the web browser. There is no downloading and installing an app. They're right in the checkout process. They pop open this tool. It works on their phone. They close the tool once they're happy, and they continue checking out. That is the game-changing part of it. So overall, I think that does a good job of summarizing a few of the features of the product page here, but that is your drop in the bucket overview. It goes on and on. Art Buyer AI recognizes and informs you when a likely collector has visited your site. We have tools that allow you to fire off very quick emails to welcome personally new subscribers, to reach out when someone has added something to their cart but not checked out, right? Give you a shot to close that sale. The features really go on and on, QR codes, selling sheets. I couldn't possibly summarize it today. Request a demo if you want to see a little bit more. But that is the engine, the Ferrari in your driveway. Let's talk about the fuel that goes in it, the marketing program. Of course, when it comes to artists, you guys do not want to be marketing. I understand that completely. You want to be creating the work and selling it. That's it. But the in-between step is very necessary, and it is marketing. So let's talk about how we make that process as painless as possible while still getting you doing the work that you must do to grow a small business. The centerpiece to our marketing program, where it all comes back to, is the art marketing calendar. That is the core piece. Everything else just supports this. The marketing calendar is a daily plan that tells you exactly what to do every single day of the year. It provides you with all the email language you'll need to pull off sales, a Black Friday sale, something like that. And it gives you the advice that you need to turn your casual followers into leads. That's people on your email list. Your leads into first-time buyers, and your buyers into lifelong repeat collectors. We walk you through it on a daily basis. It is not overwhelming. It is not a knowledge base where you need to watch 55 videos and then just implement what they said. All you need to do is look at today. We're on Wednesday. What do they say to do? I have 3 tasks to complete. It should take me about 30 minutes. Let's do it. 3 tasks. 1, 2, 3, knocked it out. You have done what you need to do for your business today. It's that simple. Let's look at what this thing is. So up top, attention newbies. This is a section with 4 steps we want our new members to complete before they get down to the full calendar. Some highlights here. We have a workshop every Wednesday where our marketing team will look at your new Art Storefronts website, go through the major pages, and make sure that it's set up according to best practices from a marketing point of view, right? So before you even launch, you make sure you're going to be closing every possible sale. We also have a campaign, a 14-day campaign that we want all new members to execute. It's just like the calendar. It tells you what to do day by day. Post this message on Facebook and post this message on Instagram and send this email. Very simple to follow. And that campaign is themed around celebrating your new website in a way that will generate you some leads and maybe some sales too right up top. So we ask everyone to do that before getting into the calendar with everyone else. Below the newbie section, we have the live workshop schedule that has your look at what's coming up this week, when you can join us in Zoom in our members only workshops. We have some announcements that go here. We have a strategic overview, step 3. This section is written by our CEO and our director of marketing, and in it, they give you their advice, what they would do if they were running your business this month, where your head should be at, right? So the calendar below is your daily bit-by-bit look. This section is the high-level overview, what you should be thinking about your major goals for the month. And then you have the calendar itself. You can see it's day by day. We have a bit of hierarchy here where we put the most important tasks in red and everything else in black. Nothing goes on here that's not important to do, right? So the black tasks are not unimportant. It's just that if you have very limited time, you have family obligations, a part or full-time job, and you can't get to the entire calendar, no problem. Do the red stuff first, and then if you have extra time, do the black tasks. Most people have no problem completing 75% or more of the calendar, though. It's not a huge obligation because we do so much of the work up front for you in terms of writing the subject lines you should be sending and giving you lots of examples whenever anything needs to be created. It's day by day. You've got the major task of the day, and then you've got Go to Tasks, a button that jumps you down the page to the full explanation of the day. It'll give you an objective for the day and then break down what you need to be doing into tasks. 1, 2, 3, do these things. Very easy to follow. Everything else, like I said, supports this system. So our workshops in general are supporting our members as they're following this calendar. You check in with us, you say, I did the Saturday, Sunday task, and I got these results. What can I do to boost them even further? Or I see next week I need to be doing this, but I don't have my head around it fully yet. Can you talk to me a little bit more about it? All that sort of stuff. We make sure our members are moving together through the calendar all at the same time. When we do something new, right? So we've recently started doing these live art shows. We have a playbook on how to execute a live art show from home. And our members are having some huge successes with this, selling dozens of pieces from home on Instagram or Facebook Live. That is an example of something where after everyone does this together, we have hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people running these live shows simultaneously. Then the following week, we have 6 or 7 or 8 of the people that had the most success with that strategy come on a live workshop for our members and just talk through what they did. We hear out, how did they address it specifically? Was there anything that was a little different than anyone else? How did they see that success? That way all of the members can hear what's working from the other members, and then we go ahead and update all of our playbooks with the new learnings. So there is nothing in this program that is static, that is a dead blog post style article from 6 years ago that may or may not be relevant today. We are updating these things on a weekly basis, checking in with our members. If enough people report that this part didn't work for them, it didn't really seem to do anything, it gets pulled out, right? We are live adjusting all of our resources so that when you join in, you get the learnings of the past several years just baked into everything. So I've talked a lot about how our members interact with us, get mentorship and consulting from us via the workshops, but we also have a venue for them to get help from each other when they need to talk shop or just get input from a whole bunch of artists really quick on a topic like, how do you address shipping? How do you go about some kind of tax situation? All that sort of stuff. The Small Wins Facebook group is the place for that. It's private, just for our members, and that is where they go to ask for help, share their small wins, as we call it, all the little successes that stack up into a successful business. Does anyone know how to patent or copyright a design? Get some help from our members on that. So this is the place to go when you need to quickly poll a huge group of people that have gotten further than you, right? That already have gotten where you want to go and have the learnings, the quick learnings that they can summarize for you. Between all of these resources that all fall back on the calendar, you have a marketing system that keeps you in line, that keeps you moving, that does not simply present you with 1,000 hours of content and asks you to explore it at your own pace, figure out for yourself which things you should be following and which things you should ignore. This is about the calendar. It's about cutting out all the time you waste thinking about what you should and shouldn't be doing. That is the time saver here, the big game changer. You no longer need to think about all the possible things. We've already done that. We've highlighted what you should be doing, the best return on your time. All right, that is my rant. I was going to say short rant. I know it wasn't short, but it's very difficult to compress everything we have going on into a format like this. So thanks for listening. Again, the website is your engine. The marketing program is the fuel for that engine. So with that said, let's get into the consulting. I think we're all on the same page now, so let's do that drain unclogging I talked about in the beginning. I'll turn it over to our hosts.
Thank you, pre-recorded Taylor. Yeah, so I was watching that today, and Taylor's presentation, and it got me thinking. Like, everyone actually thinks Art Storefronts is a website company at the end of the day, right? And it's sort of, I thought of an analogy, which I need to come up with a better one, but it'll work. You know, when you go to Disneyland or like a theme park, you think you're going there for the rides, right? Like, that's the purpose of going there, is for the rides. But also in the park, they have restaurants where you can like sit down and have a nice meal, right? Everyone thinks Art Storefront is a website company. They think it's a theme park. It's actually not. It's actually the restaurant. And the restaurant in this case is, we're essentially a full-blown university that teach artists and photographers how to market their art. You can call it a marketing consultancy if you want. But really the easiest way to think about it is a university. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is, our business only works, we only grow and mature and make more money as a company if we have successful customers. And everybody thinks like, ooh, if I can just get a new website, my business will take off and it'll really help. And the reality is that for 99% of the people on this call, a website, whether you get one with us or any of our competitors, is not going to fundamentally change your business. It's not going to fundamentally move the needle. You're not going to go from making a certain amount of money, $10 a month, to making $100,000 a month, or making $10,000 or $5,000 a month. The website alone is not enough, okay? The website, is actually the restaurant in the theme park, and the marketing education, that's what you're there for. That's what you need. That's what everybody needs. All artists, pretty much all photographers, they all have a huge marketing problem. It's the number one differentiating factor that constitutes whether or not you're going to have a successful business. That's just the answer, full stop. And it's been really an interesting journey for us learning that, and starting out is, we thought we were a website company. We thought that's what we did. We offered a total art business solution, and that was amazing. But that's not enough. It's not enough to create successful customers. To create successful customers, you need to teach them to market. And artists and photographers, blanket statement, by and large, are not the best at marketing. They need constant and ongoing education on how to do that, on the best ways to do that. And if it was important pre-COVID, COVID has just kicked it into high gear, right? Because you had the ability to not market and potentially rely on offline revenue sources. And that could have been art galleries, which are closing at an alarming rate and are not getting the same kind of foot traffic that they were. And I feel terrible about that. We don't have anything against art galleries, but that's the way it is right now. And it looks like it's going to be that way for some time to come. Maybe you had the shows and the fairs, and you could go to those, and there's some parts that are good to those because you get to keep all your customer data if you're smart about it and you capture the email and potential customers. But those are not coming back anytime soon, and certainly not with the level of foot traffic that they had before. And then others, relied on online galleries. You could try your Fine Art America, or your Etsy, or your Redbubble, or Saatchi, or any of those. And those are really hard to make any money on, and they break the number one rule. What we advocate for, what we empower artists to do, are start DTC, direct to consumer businesses in which you keep all the revenue and you keep all the contact information on your customers such that you can market to them in perpetuity in the future. And we believe that, of all the things that you need to get right, being an artist or photographer right now trying to sell your art, that's the number one. You have to be selling direct. There can be no middlemen, no other hands in the transaction, and you need to be retaining all of that customer data so that you can market to it in perpetuity. You do that, and you get going on your marketing, and you start building your email list, and you start building your social following, and you get a comprehensive marketing situation in place. Really, the sky is the limit on what you can do right now. And it is quite literally right now, this moment, the end of September in 2020, the single solitary best time I've ever seen for a solo entrepreneur, artist, or photographer to be able to build a big and sustainable business selling their products direct to consumers. So I think that part of things is really exciting. Sort of a different rant than I go on normally, but we're always learning and changing things up here. So love to get right into your questions. I'd like to hear where you are in your business, what you're struggling with, what you think the next step is. If you've got a question about what we do, about how we teach you to market, how we get your business off the ground. I'm sure there's many of you that are on this call that are just getting started. You haven't even tried to sell your art of photography yet. You don't know if you have a product the market even wants. Maybe some of you picking up a little steam. Maybe some of you have fully mature businesses. We always get a pretty serious mixed bag. And in order to ask a question, we ask that you raise your hand in Slack. Taylor went over that. There's a raise hand button in the participants window. You can do it that way because it's a little bit harder for me to see when well, we don't have that many people on video right now, but those that are on video, you could even raise your hand today if you want to. Or if you don't like being on video, I totally get that. I hate being on video. You can hammer your question into chat and I'll answer it that way too. But we have a little bit of a smaller attendance today than we do normally, so I can pour more energy into you guys. So love to get your questions about where your art business is. What's the number one thing you're struggling with? I talk to probably 250 artists and photographers a week. I've been doing that for the last 6-7 months. And you do that long enough and pattern recognition becomes a thing. I've heard about just about everything at this point in time, and I could probably get you right onto the right track, hopefully quickly. And I would say, you know, aspirationally, we want to solve the starving artist problem as a business. We kind of use as a sub headline of that, we want to put our customers on a path to a 6-figure a year plus art or photography business. So everything that we teach, everything that we advocate for, all the marketing education, how you set up your website, how you go about merchandising, what marketing activities that you need to engage in on a regular basis, the things that you should ignore and not focus on and not worry about. I think all of those are the important questions. So, okay. Lola says, cost. I'm seriously interested, but I can't. I think you meant to say can't. I can't afford this. Can you give us some ideas of cost of your program? Yeah. So the way that it works, and I go back again to the success piece of things, right? We started out just selling software, and if we kept selling just software, we would have a very mediocre business or probably be going out of business. We realized that we needed to create successful customers. And so what we did is we essentially created the program, which the easiest way to think of it is it's a university. You come in, we teach you how to do all the various different aspects of running a successful art or photography business online and off, and we never stop teaching you. The teaching will never, ever stop. I think we're up to like 9 sessions a week, Zoom sessions a week, and literally the easiest way to think about it, it's a session just like this. And, you know, in one particular week, we might be advocating you run a live art show. So we have a playbook that walks you through how to do every single solitary aspect of that. We get into a Zoom session, you ask your questions, what about this? What do I do about that? You know, either myself or other members of my marketing team teach you all of it face-to-face. People go out and run the live art show. They come back. We find out who got a big win, how, what did they do. Everyone learns from that person. It ends up being the rising tide that lifts all boats because you've got a bunch of people that you're like, wait a minute, if that person did it, I can do it. And so it's part the software, which everyone thinks we do, but really the biggest part is the ongoing marketing education. And so like every software company, we charge a monthly fee. But for the university side of things, you could basically think of it as like a tuition fee. It's a tuition fee for a college that never ends. That's really what it comes down to. So Lola plan, it starts, I believe the cheapest plan starts at like $1,000 down and $49 a month or $59 a month or something like that, is where it starts. And then depending on the bells and whistles that you have in the plan, it goes up from there. And that's what we do. Like ultimately, we need to create successful customers. In order to create successful customers, we need to teach you guys how to market, and we can't ever stop. We can't ever stop. That's just what it comes down to. So that's what I would say, Lola. And I would also say too, like, there's a ton of people that can't afford it. And what we do in those situations is we encourage you to get your product to market and start selling it, right? If you haven't done that yet, there are all of these roadblocks that artists and photographers always put up in their way to prevent themselves from doing it. But your product is your art. If you don't have originals, if you're photography or you've already sold the originals or whatever the case may be, then you need to have prints. You need to have prints that are ready to sell, and you need to attempt to sell them. If you're not doing that, then you're never going to get there. So I think that's sort of what it comes down to. And Trisha, you're asking me, missed beginning, how much? It was like I just said to Lola, plan started $1,000 down and I think $49 a month. But we have a demo process where someone from our outreach team, and April will put a link in the chat, but you request a demo. The outreach team sets up like a 10-minute call. You can ask all your questions about all the plans and then decide whether or not you want to go into a demo or not. That's sort of the process of how we handle all of that. Okay, so Kim Singleton from Facebook is asking a question, says, does a finished original canvas need a frame on it to be considered ready to hang, or can I just paint the edges and put a hanger on the back of it? This is a stupid thing clogging my drain. I love that you're saying that. Right now, before my first live sale on Saturday, and I was hoping for some help. So if it's an original canvas, okay, what I would say is just sell it. Sell it as is, and then get the sale. After the sale is done, worry about whether or not you need to wrap the wires on it and do everything else. And, I did a show on this yesterday because, you have a morning routine, right? I'm a marketing guy. I have a morning routine. I have to look at all the messages and all the comments on the Facebook ads, and I get hundreds of them a week, emails a week too. And it's like, I want to get started selling my art. I'm trying to take my business to the next level. I'm trying to figure out whether or not my art would sell. Will you take a look at it? Can you let me know if this art is good? And it's like, no one can let you know that your art is good. There's not anyone on this call that can tell you whether or not you have a viable business. There's no guru. There's no expert that can tell you. You ultimately have to take your product to the market and see whether or not it will sell. What artists do, sadly, is they worry about everything after the sale, the only thing that matters. How am I going to ship this? What am I going to do about taxes? Do I need a bank account? Do I even need to have a website? Who's going to do the printing? What about framing? Do I need to offer framing? None of that crap matters. All of that is so easy to solve. The only thing that matters is that you have a product, you attempt to sell it to people not named mom, dad, brother, sister, friends, because those people will do anything for you. They'll buy anything that you put out. God love them. They're family and friends. So you have to sell it to strangers. And in a pre-COVID world, I would have advocated, because it's the fastest way to get the feedback, to get a booth at the local farmer's market or craft fair or show, or set up on a sidewalk, if you live somewhere where there's a boardwalk and the like, or Main Street, and see if you can sell your art. Talk to people. See if it'll sell. If that does work and you could sell, then you're on the right track. If it doesn't, then what you have, the market doesn't want, and the market's told you, and you can either decide not to go into the art business or to try a different style that the market does want. And it's crazy because the amount of time I see people pouring into websites, stressing about all the stuff that happens after the sale, worried about framing, printing, this, that, the other, and then people that are thinking they're selling their art and they don't even have the finished product, okay? What do I mean by that? I got to grab one second. And again, this definitely applies to people that don't have originals. Like if you're a painter, right, and you have originals to show, then you're good to go. If you don't, you get some prints made. You get small ones made. Okay, here's a canvas gallery wrap. You can get something like this for $30. It's small. You can come on, do a live video, and say, guys, I'm trying to get my art business launched, and I'm trying to figure out if this stuff will sell. I know everybody's at home, spending a ton of time at home, and you're bored with those white walls. Something like this in stores would sell for $295. I'm going to let it go for $150 because I'm trying to get this art business off the ground. I've got framed canvas gallery wraps ready to hang. I even have acrylic. I've got some acrylic prints that I did. This is a particular piece that I painted in such and such. It was a beautiful fall day, 46 degrees, crisp. I had to hike 3 miles, and I painted here for 4 hours. It was wonderful. Deers were running by. I call it such and such. Here it is on acrylic, okay? Acrylic is one of the hottest mediums. Oh, you've never seen acrylic. Let me talk about acrylic. But do you notice here in my hand, I have the finished product? I have the finished product here. I don't have some image, some 2D image that I'm putting on my Instagram account. I have what is going to go on my customer's wall, okay? I mean, what I always say is that, like, the cardinal sin that artists forget, it's like, if I was going to have you, okay, Greg, I want you to sell knives for me door to door, okay? What's the one thing you're going to take with you when you go door to door? Is it going to be pictures of knives, or is it going to be the knives, right? You are going to have the knives with you. So why do so many artists and photographers say they want to be artists and photographers? They just don't know if their work will sell, when all you have to do is go down to the local Costco. I don't care. You can order the prints through us. We have an easy way to do it too. It doesn't matter. Get the finished product and attempt to sell it. Do not let anything get in your way at all. I did this rant the other day, which is, it perfectly highlights it, right? Like, okay, so I'm picking on you, Greg, because you're on camera. But so Greg and I both want to be restaurateurs, okay? And while we've been cooking our entire lives, neither one of us have ever started a restaurant, but we both want to. And so we need to figure out whether or not we can do that. And I've got a plan, and Greg's got a plan, okay? My plan is, I'm going to make you look like the smart one on this one, Greg. My plan is to come up with a name for my restaurant, write a business plan. I'm going to go down to the bank, secure the loan. I'm going to go and get a 3-year lease, hang the sign, design the menus, hire my wait staff and my maitre d', get some other cooks in the back of the kitchen, and I'm going to open my doors and see whether or not my restaurant will make it, okay? Failure chalked all over that one. What if my food won't sell? You know what Greg did? Greg went on Craigslist, and he got a push cart for $150. His jam is tacos. He makes tacos. So you know what he did? He made a bunch of tacos. And by the time I hadn't even written page 2 of my business plan yet, Greg is pushing his taco truck into an office building, okay? And he's like, what's up? Greg's Tacos. I know you guys are hungry. Come on down. He's got his mask on. He's got gloves on. Clean-looking guy. They're like, okay, let's do this. He sees what the feedback is. He finds out whether or not his tacos will sell. Did they ask him to come back the next day? They did. Okay, looks like Greg's got a business. Meantime, I might launch, and nobody would ever come into my restaurant or never come back because the food was bad. And I just learned an expensive lesson. And that's what artists and photographers always do. They come up with all this other nonsense. Meanwhile, Greg pushed his taco truck in and either got great results or if he didn't. If he didn't, he's like, you know what? Maybe people don't like tacos. I'm gonna switch it up to my sandwiches. And then he started making sandwiches, and then everyone wanted the sandwiches. He's like, okay. Now he's gonna go open a sandwich shop, and he knows he's gonna have a great business. So I know that's a long wound up rant there, but you know, so many people say they want to do this, and then they take this roundabout, circuitous route. You need a PayPal account or a Venmo account, or you can take cash. You need to take your product to the market. You need to see whether or not it'll sell. That's it. Don't let anything else get in the way. If it sells to people not named, the aforementioned mom, brother, sister, family, friends, then you've got a business on your hands. Then you start in on your marketing, and you're off to the races. So that's what I would say. But you guys are quiet today. I'm getting barely a question or two. I'm not laboring under the illusions that I'm anywhere near this entertaining. You guys got to have some questions about your art business. So you can raise your hand, literally, figuratively, or hammer the questions out in chat. But I'm just telling you, it is a hell of an exciting time to be an artist or photographer. Q4 is coming, and it is going to be a monster. Okay, Greg legitimately does have a question. Okay, good. I'll get into Q4 in a sec. Hold on, Greg. You have to hit the microphone. Yeah, got it.
So thanks.
Anyways.
So in order for me to see if people like my tacos, I can create an Instagram account like Greg Hinsdale Prints and put stuff up. And if people, which I did recently on my personal Instagram, and people were like, oh, can I buy that? Or where can I buy that? That's pretty much what you're saying, right?
Yes. And so, okay, so let's rewind, because this will be helpful for everybody. So do you have the product already or no? So you've never tried to sell it?
I do have a product already. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever tried to sell it?
Framed piece. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to sell it?
No, I haven't.
Got it.
Well, a long time ago I tried, but I'm a fashion photographer. I shoot catalogs. So
got it.
That business is really slow right now. So I'm looking at other revenue streams, and selling prints is one.
Yep.
And so I posted a couple shots on my Instagram of like palm trees or surfers in the lineup, black and white. And I got a lot of really good feedback. Some from friends, but some from not friends that were interested in prints. So it kind of got me thinking, and that's why we had the call yesterday. Yeah.
So I would look at the collection of work, okay, and I would grab my best 3 to 5, okay, 3 to 5. Your total investment will be like $200, okay? That's what I think you should be. I think you need to. There's 6 media types that everyone must have, okay, and I'm just going to go through this quickly. It's a fine art paper, a photo paper, canvas, metal, acrylic, and wood. 6, right? But when you're in the validation stage, you could do like 3 or 4. But I would take my 5 to 7 best, 5 to 6 best, get each one on the various different media types, okay? I would grab my phone, personal Instagram account, okay? You don't need anything else. You either have PayPal or Venmo. You already have it. And you say, guys, this COVID has been a disaster. I don't have as many gigs, so I'm getting creative, and I'm looking at actually launching my photo business. A whole bunch of you guys have been telling me for a long time that you want to order prints. Now I have them. So I wanted to just show you, and you do this on Instagram Live, wherever you have the biggest following. If you have more on your Facebook, you can do it with your phone. Literally takes 2 seconds to go Instagram Live. 2 seconds. Stick the thing on something, start talking about the work, say, this is where I shot it. It's a gallery wrapped canvas. It's ready to hang on your wall. No need for anything else. And I'm trying to get this business launched, and go through each of the prints and see, and just say, okay, how are they going to buy it? All you have to do is send me a DM or leave me a comment below, and I'll follow up with you. You can send me a Venmo or PayPal, and I'll give you the prices. That's it.
And thereafter, it stays on your story for 24 hours, correct?
So when you do Instagram Live, and we actually have like a really in-depth playbook, but I'll just tell you quickly. You do the Instagram Live. The Instagram Live ends. It says, do you want to save this to IGTV? You save it to IGTV. After it is in IGTV, it lives there in perpetuity. But what I would do is I'd grab that video in IGTV. Then there's like a little paper airplane, like send it icon. And you click that and you say send to story. And then it's going to be on your story for 24 hours. But you could also grab the link to the IGTV, post it on your Facebook page, grab the link to the IGTV, potentially email anyone you have on an email list, friends, family, whatever, to get started. I know you're not supposed to start with friends and family, but at the same time, early on, you're just looking for a little traction, right? And the thing that this comes up all the time, it's like people tell me my work is great. They're constantly asking me for prints. And it's like, okay, I'm going to drive to your house, Greg, pick you up. We're going to drive down to the ATM. You show me where people are constantly telling me my work is great, or telling me they want prints button on the ATM machine. It doesn't exist. We got to get that transaction, right? Got to get that transaction. And everybody complicates it and thinks they need something. You don't. PayPal, Venmo, cash, right? Like,
absolutely.
Let's have a conversation. And once you have that validation that like they will totally buy it, and also too, like the encouragement, like these things come wrapped so beautifully, right? And it doesn't matter if you use our printer or someone else. Like, they're beautiful, man, especially when they get bigger. Like that thing they'll buy it. It'll show up at their house. It'll be on their wall. They'll call you. They'll be like, Greg, this was so beautiful. Thank you so much. You will get fired up very, very quickly, right? It's like the motivation you need to be like, okay, I got a business. Time to take this seriously. Let's go. So if you haven't do that, if you've never done that, there you go. There's the path, and it's easy.
Not in that way, but So basically, invest in one or two of every medium, canvas.
Yeah, I don't even think one or two. I think again, pre-COVID times, I would say you're going to go get a booth where you're talking to people face to face. The best way to sell art. Now that we're in COVID, like video is changing everything. It's literally changing everything. And yes, it's been around for a long time, but like a whole bunch of things have been like ratcheting up at the same time. Like more adoption because everyone's on Zooms, increasing bandwidth costs, over the United States and world over the last few years significantly, and the fact that everybody's on the socials, and so you can do it. Press the button and start talking, and instantaneously reach a number of people. Right now, you got to do it more than once. But I don't even think because it's on video, this is much easier to show than a big dog. Right? This is small, it's
right.
like a 6x8. You're just showing the sample. Right? If you're selling knives, you've got the knife. Here's what it looks like. I have a small one here because in order for me to do this on Instagram with my phone here, I can't have a gigantic one or it'd be too weird. So here it is. Here are the sizes that you can get it in. Off you go.
Cool.
Just like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And if you've been a photographer for that long, people are going to know you've got serious chops. And if you've got some work, it's probably pretty damn good. So I like your chances. Let's just put it that way.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you don't know till you know. So you got to give it a shot. Okay, another question from Kim Singleton on Facebook, and she says, have you had any artists try a live sale on TikTok? I've been trying that platform out because Instagram's new algorithm sucks, and they have a live option too. We do. We have one artist that really likes TikTok. I personally have a massive axe to grind with the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, who controls TikTok, so I don't really care for it. But I wouldn't advocate that that's where you go first at all. It's still sort of on the fringes. And it's a good marketing question, Kim, because, again, the number one thing that we do for artists and photographers is we show them what the high ROI marketing activities are. ROI here, return on investment. This can be time, energy, treasure, all combined. And we get you to focus on those to the detriment of any new shiny objects. And TikTok's a new shiny object. And my guess is you have way more followers on Instagram than you do TikTok anyway. And don't worry about Instagram's algorithms. They have all the attention. We go where the attention is. Instagram and Facebook marketing are a huge deal. Every artist and photographer needs to be doing it. That's what I would say. All right, Lola asks, can you tell me about the after the sale part? Do we print and package and ship? Yep, so great question. So printing, okay, in today's day and age has really just become a commodity, sadly. And I say this with near and dear love for a number of printers out there because they offer a wonderful service and great customer service and they run great shops. But the reality is that they all have the same printers. The color correction technology is pretty much consistent across the board. They're all using the same media types, the same inks. And so all you're getting by using a local printer that you really like, potentially a little bit better price, sure, although I doubt it, is great customer service. That's it. And the problem is that any time, energy, or effort that you spend taking an order, emailing the order over to the printer, getting a call back from the printer, hey, do you want to look at a sample? Oh, we can print it by Thursday. Then you get another email on Thursday, we're delayed a day for Friday. Then you drive down on Friday, you look at it, you're like, this is wonderful. Then you load it in your car. Then you drive home. Then you box it up. Then you call UPS or you take it down to the UPS store. You just wasted 10 hours of your life that you're not marketing and growing the business. And so we do not think it's the best use of your time. We think the best use of your time is to be focusing on your marketing. So what do we do? How do we run it? We have a couple of different print partners depending on where you are geographically located. It's as simple as you come into the website, you flip a switch, you say which one you want to integrate with, you get an order, you get paid immediately, the printer gets paid immediately, the printer prints and ships the order, slaps your logo on the box, and you don't touch anything. Nothing at all. So that's how we deal with printing. And it's, again, all we care about are creating successful customers. If that's the case, you cannot be wasting any time on printing and shipping. Now, again, if you're doing an original, then yes, you're going to have to ship it, right? If you're doing a limited edition where the signature, the hand signature is really important, then what everybody does is they take the order, they get the thing shipped to their house, they neatly open the box, pull the print out of the plastic, sign the corner, put it back in the packaging, tape it up, box it back up, off it goes. And you charge more money for it as a result. So, yeah, so April, will you put in the chat for Greg? So we have, I think it's asfprints.com, and you can put the order in there, and it's with one of our print vendors called Graphic Dimensions, and it's just easier. Upload your high-res file. It'll instantaneously come back, and it'll say what sizes you can do. Again, and this is the beauty, like, it's too hard to show a big one, right? You got to have a small one, so just do the small ones. You could get like the 4 media types for like $125, like straight up. And I might as well, I'm going to go get the other ones because I want to show them. Hold on. Photo paper, framed, right? Simple black frame, small, ready to hang. This is on my floor. My kids are constantly messing with it, so it's ripped. But there's, a textured fine art paper or photo paper. Boom, done. Metal, which is like pretty much the hottest medium that there is right now. It's got this kind of like floater frame on the back or whatever you call this thing, ready to hang. Nice little felt. Oh, by the way, this is why the small ones. Check out the incredible zoom on my webcam. You can do this on your phone. Dirty little secret too is that you could show the detail and talk about it. The camera on the phones are about 1,000 times better than a webcam too, which is why it's so awesome doing it on the phone. So there you go. Metal. This is what wood looks like. Underappreciated but killer medium. I wouldn't necessarily do it for your first order in Greg's case or probably anyone else's unless they really like it. But the detail on this is like amazing, and you get like the wood texture, and it sort of pops off the wall, which is really cool. And then I showed the other two, canvas and acrylic. So, yeah, I mean, I would say, and Greg's asking, so, what do you mark them up? I wouldn't get too aggressive. I would just try and get the sale. So I would say quote a 250% markup per piece and then drop down to about 100% markup just to move them, right? And how you quote price is so key. People love hearing it because that's what these things sell for, right? Like, and I haven't checked what the exact retail it would be on something like this, but let's say $195, right? So I normally sell this for $195, and let's say it costs you $40, which is probably pretty accurate, somewhere around there. And then, you just want to sell it for 125 because you're not so much looking to make a ton of money. You're looking to see if people will actually pull out their wallet and pay you for your art, right? With that validation in hand, then you're in business, and the sky's the limit. And definitely don't ever sell your samples either if you don't need to, right? Because, you quote price on this one, but all you're really looking to do is start a conversation. Because what they're going to say to you, they're going to be like, Greg, I really like that, but I would love to talk about this space I have. I really need like a 24 by 36, right? Or like a 30 by 36. And then you just get on the phone with them, go hand-to-hand combat, get the sale done. And that's how you go about it. Lucy is asking, what about high quality rag paper? Yeah, I think you need one fine art paper. Like this is like the ultimate offering that everybody should have, right? And everybody makes these mistakes too. It's like, well, I don't like this type of medium, or I don't like that type of medium, or I don't think my stuff looks good on metal. Like, do not think you've outsmarted the market, okay? No one can outsmart the market. Let the market tell you what it wants, okay? If you don't like your stuff on metal, show metal, quote the prices on metal, and see whether or not the orders come in. You will be wowed. So you can pick, she's asking, what about high quality rag paper? You need a fine art paper. If you want it to be rag paper, great, 100%. Doesn't matter which one it is. Do not overthink it. You need a photo paper. And then, as I said, canvas, metal, acrylic, wood. Those are the 6 most popular selling mediums, and you sort of need one of each. It's important on all fronts. Okay, Wesley, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, Patrick.
How's it going?
I've got a question about your buddy.
Which one?
Locke.
Yeah.
Those of you who are newbies, Matthew Locke, I think, Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, is one of the most successful artists using your platform as well as your marketing. We don't
quote individual numbers, but yes, he's a successful artist for sure.
Yeah. He's got closing in on 29,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which
follower accounts not everything though, Wesley. I mean, we've got people with over millions we have on our platform too.
Serious? Some of your customers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at 62, so I'm
you got some work to do. You got some work to do.
I'm a classic chicken before the egg problem. I know you've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So obviously I've been digging into your materials about well how do we expand the potential prospective customers, both email, Facebook, and then in Matthew's case, obviously he's been very successful with Instagram. Oh, by the way, I don't know if anybody's seen his interview of Van Gogh. I don't know if you had a hand in that, Patrick, but it's just classic. If you guys want to see something that I think was...
Yeah, he's smart. What you do, really Wesley, effective. What you do is you look at his profile, okay, his Instagram profile, and let's just see, what does he have on there? How often is he posting? How often is he posting videos? Is he using hashtags?
And then like he posts every single day.
And then look at yours and look at the difference.
Yeah.
He earns every bit of it, my friend. He markets his butt off.
Yeah. No, that kind of creative effort that video did on interviewing Van Gogh, it was really clever.
Yeah.
Good example for all of us. But here's the deal. I of course have been all over your materials on this issue, this dealing with the chicken before the egg problem that I have. And I ran across, I can't remember what the medium was, but it was something about, I think it was Matthew, who used successful Instagram posts to then elevate those and do them as ads. And I know you guys have been talking about how as newbies should stay clear of Facebook ads.
Yes.
So we are a little more established.
Yes.
Maybe he was already had a huge following and he'd had some successful posts. So
Wesley,
his
I
strategy.
can tell by the tone of your question, you're comparing your beginning to someone else's middle, and it's a recipe for a disaster. There's no
Yeah.
secret, dude. There's no thing that you're gonna go and see and reverse engineer. Do you know what he did? He marketed consistently all year long for 10 years, and that's where he's at. And there's no shortcut.
Mm.
You don't need to be thinking about the latest hack or the latest trick. You need to start marketing consistently and not stop or look at any stats or wonder what's working or not for a year. Do the work for a year and then look at it and then start
Yeah.
year number 2. That's it. That's all that's all there is to it. Like, does he run Facebook ads? Absolutely does. Are you ready to run Facebook ads? Absolutely you're not. No one is until they can do, what I call the proverbial 100 push-ups, right? And maybe you've heard this analogy, Wesley, but many
Oh, yeah.
others haven't. But you know, being successful running ads on Facebook and Instagram, the flawed premise, and thank you for the question, Wesley. The flawed premise is that there's some easy way that you can just spend a little money and you can get a bunch of traction and activity and buyers to look at your art, and there isn't, and there never has been. The way to think about Facebook ads, and what I always say, it's a common question. When are you ready? And I always say you're ready when you can do 100 push-ups. And what do I mean by 100 push-ups? You're not ready for Facebook ads, number one, until you've well and truly validated your art will sell and you sold some. We sort of say, unless you sold $2,000 worth of art, you're not ready for Facebook and Instagram ads. Then, after that, you have to be gathering emails on a regular basis. You have to be emailing those emails on a regular basis, both good old-fashioned content, what we call romance content, read non-salesy content, as well as the sales. Yes, you need to be executing sales when the time is right and understand all the mechanics about that, how to send an email, how the emails work with the socials, how to extend the deal, how to have scarcity, the right percentage to discount, how long to run the sale for, what holidays to time it on, what language to use, all of which we teach, obviously. You need to be posting on the socials regularly. Yes, you need to be going live on Facebook and Instagram, having flash sales, having art shows, talking about your process. If you can do all of that, you're ready for Facebook ads. And the way to think about it, and the reason that everybody fails, is Wesley has a fishing boat, and I have a fishing boat. Same boat, same captain, okay? Wesley, not doing his marketing. I am doing my marketing. We both steam out to the fishing grounds in our boats, okay? Because Wesley's not doing his marketing, he only has one line in the water when he gets out there. That's it. And the ocean's a big place. You might catch something, but you might not. Me, on the other hand, I've got 6 fishing poles, 2 that go on the outriggers. I've got kites. I've got nets. I've got harpoons. I've got lobster pots. And whatever is going on, I'm coming home with seafood, right? And all of those various different fishing things that I have on my boat is all just the marketing. It's all the consistent marketing. You're never going to get an ROI on Facebook or even on any one small marketing hack until you have the comprehensive marketing system in. It's why we do what we do. It's why we run the university. Every single solitary customer comes in with varying degrees of acumen. Technical acumen, how good they are on a computer, how well they understand things, how quickly they can execute, but also marketing. Some are way further along in their marketing, some are less further. It doesn't matter. All of them have holes. All of them have holes in the marketing. And until you can build up those marketing muscles, until you can do 100 push-ups in one setting, you focus on nothing else but that. That's it. That's it. And then you start doing it consistently, and then you start getting traction. And then people say, oh, how do I attract interior designers or high net worth? You market consistently. You market consistently. That's it. I think we're really opinionated in what we do, right? We want artists to sell direct to consumer. We want artists to own everything, own the URL, own the traffic, own the email list, own all the customer data, own the social followings, own all of it, okay? We want them to market consistently all year long. We want them to have the perspective of how long it takes to grow a good business, online and off, 3 to 5 years until you really start getting traction. Yes, if you come in with other extenuating circumstances, you've been marketing for a while, you have the big email list, you have a big client list, you have a robust offline business. There's always, various different aspects, but it represents the single solitary greatest time. And I say on these calls all the time, art and photography industry right now is going through its MP3 versus the record company moment, okay? Disruption. It's going through the Uber taxi cab moment. It's going through the Netflix blockbuster moment. Before, to get going on anything, you had to have offline going. You either had to be on an art gallery in a retail location. Those are difficult to get into. It's a 50-50 split. They don't always pay on time. You don't keep any of your customer data. You needed to be going to the shows and fairs. Well, there's booth fees. There's sitting on your feet for 8 hours on a Saturday, staying in a crappy hotel room, eating crappy food, coming home. You're tired on Monday. You get back to life on Tuesday. There was selling on the online art galleries. You don't keep any of your customer data. It is pretty robust transaction fees, and there's a ton of competition, right? All of those things were happening, though, and all those things were working for the most part, and you can bolt in any additional offline revenue source that you might have. There's hybrid businesses, some service, some teach. I get all that. Fast forward to today, you can run your own online art gallery, sell internationally, keep all of the money, grow a customer list, not pay any booth fees, no 50-50 splits, no 60-40 splits, none of that. And that's an incredible thing. All the middlemen have been obliterated. You're going to direct to consumer, and that is phenomenal. Now, I'm not laboring under, or nor will I allow anyone to labor under the conception that you're just going to launch that thing and fish are going to jump in the boat and you're going to have a huge party. I mean, you tell me someone that has a good, robust business that's doing well, that did so in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. It does not exist. It does not exist. Nothing good comes easy. The question is whether you're on the path to get there, okay? And then let's talk about what's happened since COVID. Number one, everybody's staying home, right? Staying home, quarantined, in their house, not going back to the office. If they're going back to the office, they're not going back to the office as much as possible. And as a result of spending all that time at home decor sales across the board are exploding. Everything in the category is. Art is one of those things. Phenomenal. Throw some more gas on the fire that everyone's moving out of the cities, okay? I live in Orange County where all of my buddies, all of my friends, aside from me, I'm the only marketing guy now. They're all in real estate. They're all in home building. They're like, dude, you have no idea what's going on. We are so busy we can't even see straight. Everyone is moving out of Los Angeles. Everyone's moving out of urban Orange County, and they're moving and buying houses in the suburbs, outside, cheaper price points. They're going from a little condo to 4 bedrooms. Well, how much wall space do they have as a result of that? Then throw in the fact that no one's been traveling anywhere. There's no events. There's no sporting events. You're not having date night. You're not getting babysitters as much. All of the people, and like, look, I'm not trying to, poo-poo or underplay or downplay the fact that COVID has brought very difficult economic circumstances on quite a few people. It's terrible. It's a dumpster fire of a situation. But guess what? The high net worth individuals, the upper middle and high class folks, they're doing just fine. Not only are they just doing just fine, those are the ones that buy your art. Not only are they doing just fine, not only are those the ones that buy your art, but they have more disposable income than they ever have because they have nothing to spend the money on. There's been nothing to spend the money on. No one's doing any of those things. Okay, so all of that's happening as a result of COVID. Okay, so people moving to new houses, getting new spaces, moving out of the cities, more disposable income. At home more often, sick and tired of the crap on their walls to finally do something about it. I need a good Zoom background. I'm on these video calls all the time. I need something cool behind me. So all that's happening. Okay, so where do you go out and buy art if you need to get art right now? All the galleries are closed, right? For the most part, okay? All the art shows and fairs, no one's going to those. They're group events. They don't want to do them, okay? I've got a buddy that's really high up in retail in a huge company, and he goes, we're witnessing an extreme phenomenon. I said, what's a phenomenon? He goes, it used to be that people would go to a mall or, go to the shopping area of a town and they'd go look around, maybe come home with something. He goes, what they're doing now is what we call sniper shopping. I was like, what the heck is that? They have something in their head that they want to get. They go right into the store, they get it, they leave. Maybe they peruse a little bit in the store, fine. But they go in, they get it, and they leave. They're not checking out 3 or 4 other stores. They're not stumbling into a gallery you might be into. So there's nowhere to buy art for all of these people that have extra disposable income, that are stuck in their houses. All of the retail things are out the window, and it's staying that way for a while. You want more gas on the fire? E-commerce adoption, and it doesn't matter what age group you're talking about, and it doesn't matter what country you're talking about. I read that Amazon has got massive penetration in Italy that it never had before because the entire Italian population is now shopping online. So yet another factor, e-commerce penetration as a percentage of total commerce was just ticking along year by year going up, and then in 3 months it completely hockey sticked. 5 to 7 to 9 years of growth of e-commerce buying habits and behaviors got truncated into 3 months. Those habits aren't going away either. So you combine all of these factors, and then you talk about the fact that we're going into Q4, which is traditionally the biggest art selling time of the year, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holiday buying season. And It's just phenomenal across the board. It is absolutely phenomenal across the board. I think this Q4 is going to be the single solitary biggest one we've ever seen in the art and photography markets in the last 10, 15 years, probably 20 years. I mean, there's too many conditions on the ground that are forcing this to be the situation. So, you know, you have to set yourself up and be in a position to be able to capture it. And that's what we push. That's what we do. That's why we're here. Dean, you're up next. Dean, what's your question? Go. We got you. It says you're unmuted. Yeah, I think, Dean, probably because I can't hear you, you probably have the wrong mic or audio source. If you click the little up arrow by the microphone, I can't tell if you're on your phone or what. You might need to switch your mic. Otherwise, I see that you threw something in the chat, so I can just answer it that way. And if you come on the mic, I'll hear you. So see if you can fix it. It says, do you have regular sessions for newbies on setting up the right kind of Facebook, Instagram site, or how we should use the sites currently set up? Yes, we do. And that gives me like another kind of cool window to talk about something that's new. So, okay. We create what are called playbooks, okay? They are step-by-step guides, read audio, video, visual tutorial that walks you through step-by-step all of the various different factors, functions of marketing, okay? How to run a sale, how to do email marketing, how to market on Instagram, how to run a live show on Instagram Live on Facebook at the same time, how to run a live show on Instagram with your phone and your iPad to use 2 cameras, how to run a live show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at the same time, how to deal with the comments on all of those various different ones, how to quite price, everything. We have all of it step by step that teaches you all of these various different things. That's step 1. We had that pre-pandemic too. Like good blog post, good podcast, playbook, learn at your own pace, go, okay? Then the pandemic hit and we started putting all our customers into these sessions and we realized, okay, we're starting in our business university. That's just what we're doing, full stop. So we'll have weekly sessions. Tuesday, Thursday are like the higher level advanced business marketing ones. Then we have an additional 3 sessions a week just for tech support issues if you need to go get help in those departments. And then we have marketing onboarding sessions. And so when you're just getting launched. So we have sessions for all of these various different things, right? So we teach absolutely every single solitary aspect of it. Then, and this is like all the advancement we've had since COVID hit, which is why, like, you know, we thought we were a super sweet business and we were pretty cool pre-pandemic. Once we started doing these video sessions, we sort of had like our aha moment and like the whole business changed. It's just, it's been phenomenal because nobody wants to learn in a vacuum. No one effectively learns in a vacuum. Like, you know, I cite this all the time, but any of the online learning sites, Masterclass, Kajabi, lynda.com, 30% of the people that buy those classes actually finish any of those classes. Why? Because learning on your own, step by step at your own pace, going through video by video does not get it done. You're going to wash out. We all wash out. Nobody wants to do that, right? So when you pair the online go your own pace learning with a live session where you're actually talking about it, where you're going through it, where you're seeing your peers and hearing what they got hung up on, or, you know, we constantly bring people on to the sessions too that had success, and you got to hear what worked for them, how did they do it, maybe they created some spreadsheet that helped them do it, they'll share that with everybody. So we've got that online learning, which is incredible. We're now beta testing an in-house marketing agency in addition to everything else. 80% of our customers, I would say, it's probably an 80-20. Everything's always an 80 and 20 line. 20% are full-time artists. 80% are probably still have jobs. Still have jobs, want it to be their retirement, still have jobs. It's the side hustle. They would like it to be the full-time hustle, or still have jobs and just like the side hustle and want to grow it into a business. So for those folks, we are literally building like an army of marketers that can do some of the basic stuff for them. Spruce up the Instagram page. Get the website launched right away. Run your Facebook and Instagram ads, warm ads, right? Execute on the sales when we have the sales, all the process that we go through. And so we're even doing that. And again, I go back to where I started the session. Like, we realize all that matters for us is how successful our customers are. And so we have this metric internally in the company, which is essentially the sum total of all the artists and photographers on our platform sales. And there's a couple of different ways you can sell on our platform. I don't want to go into the complication, but we know if that number keeps going up, we're winning, and we just keep hiring and hiring and hiring, and we're eventually going to have a full-blown marketing agency within the company. I think we beta launched it, sort of inside baseball, but we beta launched it, and I think we're at like 30 customers already, and we're testing and readjusting. I mean, we're going to, you know, stumble a little bit early on, but we'll figure it out. But look, the whole point is you have to have everything, right? So if we can have the best DIY learn at your own pace. Zoom session, if you want to do it on your own, fantastic. If you're busy and you just don't want to do it, then boom, we'll do it for you. Here's what it costs. Great. Either way, the boat is moving in the right direction with both oars, or, you know, rowing in at the same time. So that's what I would say. Greg, there is no best time. There is no best time. You got to just ship it. You don't know early on, right? No idea. The best time could be when the one person who's going to buy is on, and no one can optimize for it. You can't optimize for it until you've done hundreds of them. So don't stress. Just know that you got to do a couple of them. Okay, got to do a couple of them. And as a final, I would say, I'm not a guru or a swami or somebody that tells people the environment is dying and to, you know, shut off your air conditioner and ride your bicycle, and then I go home and get on a private jet. Like, I practice what I preach. Okay, I hate video. I hate being on video. I'm live on Facebook and Instagram, the CEO of the company, live on Facebook and Instagram 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes multiple times a day, and we have been since the pandemic. Why? I practice what I preach. Okay, it works. It is the absolute future of not just selling art and photography online, but it is the future of selling just about everything. Best way to sell art, trick question, in person, face to face. Okay, you can think of it as an art gallery, right? Problem. We are all geographically fixed on this globe, and it turns out we need to sleep. So we have a website. Website can sell when we sleep, can sell to 1,000 people at a time. It's always working. You don't need to be there. A new hybrid has been developed, and it is right in between, and it is selling live on video with a minimum viable audience of one or one to many. It's worth it in both cases, and it is completely changing the game, completely changing commerce. There are certain stories, not certain stories, but certain situations in which China is more advanced than us in various different things, and this is one of them. I'll give you a perfect example. So, you know, I'm a huge nerd, a huge tech nerd. I follow what's going on in tech very closely. You do that long enough, you keep a close eye on what the VCs, the venture capitalists, the guys that write the check to get tech ideas off the ground. And there was an article from one of them, Andreessen Horowitz, and it was like, you know, almost 2 years now, and it was like, live video is changing the face of commerce in China, right? And it's talking about all the same things that we talk about. So here was this guy. He had, and this is one example of like 50. He had an orchard, okay, in rural China. And before, he would grow his stuff, sell it to a wholesaler. Wholesaler would drive it to the supermarket, drive it to the distribution facility. They would wash it. It would go from the distribution facility to the markets. Didn't have his brand on it, didn't have anything. He pulled out his camera and he started walking through his orchards. And he started talking about what was on there, the fact that it was coming to season, when it was coming to season. If you wanted to put in an order, put in an order. He's now got a massive business where he sells his produce directly to the end consumer without any middlemen in it at all. He boxes it up, ships it off, makes all of the money, and he has happy customers because instead of the fruit going to the distribution center, getting washed, sitting on the truck, banging around on the highway, he's boxing it up and shipping it, boxing it up and shipping it. And there's 100 different examples like that. So an almost way to think about it, where I was going on the rant, is we realize as art storefronts is a business, and this is 100% true for you guys. And again, I'm doing this every day, and it's not for my health, it's because it's effective. You can, with live video, open your store on Main Street of the internet, which offers you worldwide distribution and a worldwide business. You could almost make an argument, we as a company are making an argument, we might just be live 9 to 5, 5 days a week. Various different sessions, various different subject material. You can come in at any point in time, get your questions asked, pop on for this, that, or the other. That's almost the way to think about it. The live video just gives you this opportunity that nothing else has ever been able. What was I going to do before? Send Greg a blog post, hope he comes back and reads the blog post, email him for 6 months, hope he comes back and listens to a podcast or maybe looks at a couple of YouTube videos, or get him on a session. And here we are, we're talking for an hour and a half in a very intimate setting. He gets to understand that I know what I'm talking about and saying some things that he might, I mean, that's arrogant on my part, might know what he's talking about, allegedly knows what he's talking about, right? And he might take action. More importantly than what he thinks about the material, here I had the opportunity to break things down, talk to him directly. He's going to go and run a flash sale. He's probably going to get great results. He's going to be like, these art storefront guys know what they're talking about. I'm going to sign up. That would have taken me in a normal time 9 months, a year, maybe, since I got Greg on the email list, until he finally came through all that, until he took the action, most importantly, moved his business forward, and then signed up and been a customer. Now I might truncate that into a month. Look at the impact that that's making on art storefronts, and it is the exact same impact it can make for you guys. And I'll tell you, it's not here first, but you heard it here first. Let's just say every single solitary business imaginable is soon going to figure out that live video, and again, one-to-one, just you and one buyer, or you to your audience, is the future of just about everything as it pertains to commerce. It's going to change everything. We're just a little bit ahead of the curve on it, and especially ahead of the curve as it pertains to artists and photographers. Okay, Cynthia, you're up next. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Hi.
Hi.
When you do the videos,
Yes.
we have this like camera mounted from the ceiling, and my family's been doing artwork on Twitch, right? And basically, it kind of turned into family get-togethers during the pandemic. And my family doesn't, the artists in my family and don't really want to show their faces, but I keep saying, I think you have to show your faces while you're doing these videos and doing art. How important is that?
I would say you're overthinking it, and that's a generalization. That's number one. Number two, the live video is kind of like golf clubs, right? And to play golf, whether you play golf or not, you can visualize it. To go and play on the course, you have to have a bag full of clubs, right? Because there's different shots that you're going to hit, and you need a different club for each. So that's the way to think of live video. There's room for every single solitary one of the things you're thinking about. There's room for a flash sale. There's room for you just being goofy and playing with your dog or your cats or your lizard or whatever animal you have, or your kids, right? And just showing who you are as a person, because the artist is the brand as much as the artwork. There's room for live painting. There's room for talking about your process. There's room for a full-blown art show and everything in between. There is no one best kind. It's just about shipping them. And I'm not kidding. Like, I eat my own dog food, done hundreds of these since the pandemic hit, hundreds, probably 350. And I just keep learning, and I keep getting better. Right? And I know I'm going to beat everyone else to it because I'm just executing. And that's what we're pounding into our customers. We'll teach how to run a flash sale, or how to do a live art show, or how to do a live whatever. And some people will go out and do it. And almost everyone runs into tech issues, which, by the way, is just part and parcel for this. Everyone runs into tech issues. Until you've been through 20 of them, you don't realize that that's just a part of doing business. It's a cost of doing business. You just motor along. No one cares. Somebody will come back and they'll be like, I can't believe it. I did my first art show. It was incredible. I sold 3 pieces. I mean, it was just blown away. I had so much fun. My response to him is the same every single solitary time. Wonderful. Now go do 1,000 of them. Go do 1,000 of them. And I'm not kidding. That's what I'm doing. Again, I practice what I preach.
Yeah, slowly doing your art in front of people is not the best way to sell it, but it is a great way to get your neighbors to say, oh my God, I put you on while I'm cooking because listening to you in the background is hilarious.
Absolutely. And now they're bonded to you. I love that. I love that you said that, by the way.
But I did like the idea of what you said, which is, you have your finished products and you're showing them to people, and so they can see something that they could buy. I like that a lot. The other question that I have is, having so many artists in the family, not all of our art is G-rated.
Okay.
How do you deal with the fact that you have different genres of art, and some of it can go in very public settings and some of it should maybe be kept more discreet?
Yeah. We have a couple of folks that are in that camp, and it's each market has sort of like its own ups and downs, right? Benefits and what's the opposite of benefits? I don't know. My mind is kind of fried. We're getting to the end of the session. It has its own ups and downs, right? So let me give you for instance. Okay, we have 2 guys that are in a certain male subject matter. Okay, and you can inquire to their sexuality, right? I don't care for that niche. I don't ever want to see that niche. I don't want to hear about it. At the same time, I look at their stats. Turns out that is an extremely diehard niche. That is an extremely loyal tribe. The downside is you start showing that type of stuff on Facebook or Instagram, and the ban hammer comes down really quickly, right? So you have to get creative in the ways in which you market it. But at the same time, like, they could be doing a different niche, and people would not buy anywhere near as much because that tribe feels whatever that tribe feels. And so it all has its ups and downs, and you kind of just you go, there's going to be people that are diehards and they love it, but you have to work harder to get it in front of them, right? You have to make some decisions there, and Facebook and Instagram can't really be one of them because they'll whack you pretty good.
Well, is there like you stay soft and you send people off to someplace else if they want to see
Yeah, you could
something?
do that. You can have it on your site, and you just let people know like you are now entering an adults only area, right? I mean, I'm assuming it's has some nudity to it, but it's not mega
Because
graphic, right?
that stuff does sell. I
Oh,
mean, you
for
actually
sure,
get requests for that
for
stuff,
sure, for sure. Different strokes
and
for different folks, for sure.
online is like a source for that more. But I'm not going to say more than that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
And
No, no,
then
no, no. Yeah, you don't need to. Like you just start marketing and you figure out where you get shut down. And some places you're going to get shut down, and then that requires you to get creative, and then you have to go and find the places.
I want to be smart because I don't, because we also do a lot of like, very much not,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and
You're overthinking and overstressing it. Just get going on the marketing. Wait until you get your wrist slapped. Don't do that again, and then keep going. All right. I had a
okay.
buddy. I had a buddy that had
So they won't kick you out completely the first time if you.
No, no, no. You'll get you get a warning. You get a couple warning shots for sure, and then you just you stop doing that. But I'll give you the perfect example. So, a buddy of mine, okay, lifelong friend from high school, okay, no judging, no judging. He found some guy in Malaysia. I don't. This story is so weird, but I'm going to tell it anyway because it makes sense. Found some guy in Malaysia that would take fighters over to Malaysia, and there's this natural supplement there that they would take in Malaysia, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, this is really helping out with my fighting." Oh, and it's helping in one other area too. Okay, so he's like, "Wait a minute, this particular thing might sell well in the U.S." So he goes over to Malaysia, orders a bunch of it, brings it back, tries to start selling it, and it's basically like a natural Viagra, is what I'm saying. So he goes onto Facebook, starts spending a ton of money on it. They're like, "No way can you do this on Facebook." So he got banned almost immediately. Made him get creative. He went and found another website that is sort of a raunchy men's Facebook, and he built a multi-million-dollar business off of it. And that forced the creativity of going there and figuring it out, right? So don't let it hold you back from the marketing. Contemplate all the what ifs. Just start marketing, get it in the water, take the slap on the wrist, and get creative. That's it. There's huge upsides.
Okay. Do you know the different
Mhm.
location marketing, like where stuff sells, and like you can steer us in different places?
Not for that particular work. I would just say you'd have to get creative. But everybody thinks that like
Find your own markets.
yeah. Well, no, it's not even that. Like I'll give you the perfect example. Everyone comes in, they're like, well, how can I market just to interior designers, or how can I market just to the people that buy art for hotels? And everyone thinks that you need to like laser focus and target them. And don't get me wrong, there's some strategies where we can do that. We can talk about that. But the bigger picture, you're going to see more success from working on your marketing consistently than you are going to be laser focusing anyone. Because what ends up happening is you cast a wide net, you start building followers, you start getting people that are excited about your work, they share it, you get more emails. And we had a customer like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, that got like a big order, like a $75,000 order from an interior decorator. And you ask her, well, how'd you get that order? Do you know? The interior decorator's daughter found the artist on Instagram, liked the art, followed the artist for 6 months, then told her mom. How do you optimize for that? You don't. You don't, right? Like you work consistently on your marketing. That's why they got that sale, that deal. So that's sort of how we advocate that you do it. But good questions. Just don't ever. That's why you got to not overthink it, right? Like, the same thing that plagues artists from even trying to take the shot and selling their stuff also plagues artists from working consistently on their marketing. And again, I say this with all due respect and love, but if I talk to 250 of you guys on a weekly basis and have for 7 months, like I see the same thing again and again and again and again and again. It's like I want to stop you. Like, got to work consistently on the marketing. There is no shortcut to doing it. It's not any technique, tactic, or trick. It is doing the high ROI stuff. Obviously, we teach you that. And how do I know what that is? One, I'm really good at marketing. Two, I have stats on 4,000 people that are selling a lot of art and ones that are not. I know what's working and what's not. So we tell you, this is what you do. This is what you focus on. Well, what about this? Do not do that. Ever. Don't do that. Doesn't sell, doesn't work. I've not seen anyone that's used that works. Whoever told you that works is lying to you. And I can say that conclusively because I got 4,000 people and no one's making any money doing that, right? So focus on the high ROI. And then the other one is you have to do it consistently, by which I mean years. Will a business grow the whole time? Yes, it will. But no one never does it for years. Everyone does it for 2 weeks or a month and a half. And they're like, I I didn't get the results, I'm going to quit. Nothing good comes easy. Nothing at all. But I like the whole family thing, and I like that you're doing the lives.
Okay, I'm going to give someone else a chance.
Thanks, Cynthia. I appreciate that. Greg, don't worry about the domain. The domain is like a 2-second thing. Don't let the domain get in the way of selling. That's it. AJ, I see what you're saying. I get that you're techie. I love all those ideas. But again, so I should read AJ's question. He's an Amazon Web Solutions architect, so he's a software engineer and an artist. He's got a control over the background image displayed while in his software. He's talking about a potential Roku channel for showcasing his work and directing people back to the store. I love all those things. I'm a huge Roku nerd, but I have like a heuristic I use for any new shiny object of any kind. Let me see someone that's using it to make money. Let me investigate that. Let me reverse engineer that. And then after that, let me see 6 or 7 other people that are. And until that happens, it's just not the high ROI use of time. Like, I love Roku. I think a Roku channel could do incredibly well. I think there's a ton of interesting stuff about it. If you could program it quickly, I'd say that's a great idea. But until I see people making a ton of money off of that, I could not advocate it for it. Like, you know, and Wesley's going to laugh because I say this all the time. Do you know who the most powerful people in the United States are right now? The ones that could sell absolutely anything? The Kardashians. I would take the Kardashians over just about anyone else because all they have to do is start talking about something on Instagram and boom. I mean, one of those girls could start painting now and be the worst painter in the world, start doing live art shows, and probably sell 20 million in the first year. And I say that conservatively. The reason is they have the attention. So AJ, let's go back to your Roku channel. Let's say you're an incredible Roku programmer, right? Amazing. And you programmed the most amazing channel ever for Roku. And this is the best app I've ever seen. And it's incredible. You still have to get the attention. No one's going to find it. No one even knows you're there. So how are you going to get the attention? You're going to have to market. You have to email. You have to post on the socials. Eventually going to have to be able to do 100 push-ups. Then run ads. Then it can be a viable channel. Now let's do that again with the Kardashians. They would launch the Roku app. And there would be 35 million people watching it day one. It would probably break your servers. Not AWS. They would handle it. But those are the rules on that. Anybody else? Anybody else that's on question, comment, stuck in your business? Anything? I should mention today's the last day of our sale. We're having some sort of a summer sale. Today's the last day. So if you put a demo request in today, they'll call you today and they'll say, okay, you know, if you're going to sign up, we'll still get you in on the deal. So April, put the link in the chat form. Well, you already did. It's in there. So there's that. But I would say for most of you, if you haven't taken those initial steps, you're not ready. Anything else from taking the product to marketing, anything on the outside of that is just a distraction. Just to tune that out, take the product to market, get the validation, and then you're in business. That's what I would say. But thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Wish you all the best. Come find me on a live, say hi, leave me a comment 5 to 6 days a week. Not hard to find. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you like. And then, you know, I know there's a large tendency to come to these things a couple of times too, because you'll learn more and more. Love to have you anytime. We run them 3 times a week, always at the same time because we haven't figured out different times yet. But yeah, that's it. And then as a final too, April, will you we got to get a subscribe link to YouTube. The Art Business Mornings is this show the CEO, sometimes me solo, sometimes the CEO and I run twice weekly. We run it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you can get it by subscribing to YouTube or liking the Facebook page or following the Instagram page or on the podcast. It goes on the podcast feed too, which is the Art Marketing Podcast. I really recommend you subscribe to that, even if you're never going to sign up, and I'm not kidding. You can tell I'm a pretty transparent dude. That show, okay, we literally take whatever we're learning instantaneously in real time, and it almost instantly goes into an episode and includes like what's selling, what's working. I mean, if you want to steal our best ideas, you've got to subscribe to that show. It's really good. I promise you it's really good. You'll learn a ton and it'll keep you motivated. So definitely recommend checking that out. April put the playlist to YouTube. YouTube's the easiest way to subscribe. Their mobile app's the best. So highly recommend you check that out. Other than that, thank you guys. Great rest of your week. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye now.